everybody. So I wanted to do a quick video today to give you a little look at my currently inked pens. I'll probably do a slightly longer video where I go over kind of my whole fountain pen collection. But right now, I thought it'd be better to just kind of show you what I've been writing with and why I chose the pens that I'm working with today. So first, I'm going to do the one that isn't in any case. It's just kind of hanging out in my room. Most of my pens do stay in a case. I kind of have this rule that I don't ink more pens than I have space for. But this pen I mostly use for my workouts, so I kind of just keep it with my workout journal. So this is a Pilot Metropolitan. You can get a look at that. It's the Retro Pop Houndstooth, I think is the name of this color. And it has, I think, it's a medium nib. Where is the camera? It's got a medium nib on that one, if you can see that. I have this inked up currently with Diamine Marine, I believe. I'll look at my journal, we can do a little swatch of it. I'm pretty sure it's Diamine Marine. Ignore the fact that I made Metropolitan two different words. So yeah, I mostly keep this with my workout journal, and then I'll just kind of leave it out on my desk or on my dresser and use it whenever I want to write down a workout. That's what I'm using it for. In my last video, we saw the newest acquisition to my pen family here is the TWSBI 580 ALR with the punch pink with Sailor Ink Studio 130 in this one. This one's a fine nib. Like I said in my other video, I don't like to buy more than one pen just because of this. I don't like to buy more than one of the same pen just because it comes in a new color. But I felt compelled to buy this one mostly for the color. And I absolutely, oh, you know what, let's zoom in a little bit on this so you can get a better look at that. So this pen is just gorgeous. It writes really well. The fine nib is perfect. I'm a medium fine kind of person, I will say. Medium fine and the occasional extra fine. You won't find a lot of extra fines in my collection, but actually I do have one inked up right now. But medium fine is kind of where I tend to be, because broads tend to be a little too broad for me. So here's my, most of my pens I keep in my Nocco, I think this is the Sinclair. Like I said before, my usual rule is I won't ink up more pens than I currently have space for. If you can see, there's only 3 fountain pens in here. I've got a Pigma Micron in here just in case I need it. I've got a ballpoint that was a gift that I give to other people if they need a pen. And this is just a pencil. So this has three pen slots. Kick the camera there. It's got 3 pen slots, so I have 3 pens inked up, and then I have the 1 pen loop on my Hobonichi case. So usually I only have 4 pens inked up at one time. Keeps me sane. But I do have the Metropolitan, like I said before, for my workouts. So like I said before, also my favorite keychain of all time from Inky Converters on Etsy. It's literally the cutest thing in the world. So like I said before, I do have, even though I don't really like extra fines all that much, I do have 1 extra fine pen inked up. This is the Lamy Studio Glacier. This was this year's special edition, which the Lamy Studio was a pen that I never really thought I would get because it didn't really appeal to me. I understand the people like with the clip and like the body is nice. I was like, I just didn't get it. But this color spoke to me and therefore I needed to get it. I can't really explain what happened other than that. So this one came with an extra fine. And this is what I kept it with. I have an extra fine in my, where are we? We're not in frame anymore. I have an extra fine in my All-Star that I have currently. I'll give you a little sample here. This is... And this is with Diamine Festive Cheer, which I just think is a really nice, pretty, like, purplish blue, and it's got really nice sheen in the right pen. It doesn't really come through with the extra fine, but I don't mind it. But I got the extra fine because I have it on my All-Star, and I really liked it. And it didn't occur to me that what I should have done, because I have a Safari with the fine nib on it, is I should have gotten a medium in the studio and then just swapped the nibs whenever I wanted them, because I usually never have more than one pen of the same brand inked up all at once. So it made more sense in retrospect to get that medium nib, just so I have all three nibs. But I actually really like this extra fine even more than I like it on my All-Star. So it shows you a little bit of you know, sometimes Lamy nibs aren't always, you know, exactly the same from pen to pen. So like I said before, I normally don't have more than one pen inked up of the same brand, but as you can see, I have a 580 and a TWSBI Eco. This is the transparent purple. This was one of the special edition colors from last year, which I believe you can still get. I've only been in the fountain pen world for 2-ish years now, so I'm not fully, you know, abreast as to what, see, this pen does post, but I don't usually post them, as to how long TWSBI special editions stay out, because I've seen, in the past 2 years, I've seen, like, my 580 was one of my first my Emerald 580 was one of my first fountain pens, and you can still get it, and that was a special edition from 2019. Alright, so this is a TWSBI Eco. This is a medium nib. This is a very wet medium nib. This is also very wet ink. This is Van Diemen's. This is Black Tongue Spider Orchid. Ignore my handwriting. I'll also do a slightly closer up so you can get a look at what all these pens look like, so you can get a better look at the end. But this is my favorite pen. That hasn't changed. I have a lot of fountain pens. This one will always be my favorite because it's the epitome of everything I like in a fountain pen. It's the color itself is perfect. The body is the right weight. The grip section is the perfect size for me. I have a very variable grip. I'm pretty good with changing my grip depending on the pen that I'm using. But this one I've had zero issues with. My hands are a little on the small side, so I have no issues writing with it unposted. I can write with it posted if I have to. Like I went for a walk a couple weeks ago, and I took my journal so I could do some journaling, and I wasn't gonna put my cap down anywhere, like on the bench, just in case it rolled away. So I didn't have any issues, but it's not my ideal way to do it. But I have zero issues with this pen. I would recommend this for anyone who wants to get into something that isn't cartridge converter pens. I really think this is a fantastic starter fountain pen for anybody. I happened to get this well into my fountain pen experience just because I was waiting for that perfect color, because none of the colors that year spoke to me until this one. And last but certainly not least, because this was a very special pen for me, is the Visconti Van Gogh in Starry Night. And I know for a fact the color variation is not coming through in this as it should. It's beautiful. This was my Grail pen for so long, and I bought it recently. I bought it this year because I had the money saved up. I had been waiting for a special occasion to buy it, and then 2020 happened, and there's always, you know, that if it's not now, when? It was one of those, the stars kind of aligned and it was really time for me to buy it. So I did. This is a Visconti fine nib, which, as you'll see in the comparisons, is very broad. It's a very, very, very broad fine. It's a Visconti proprietary nib. They make these, and their nibs are just very broad and very wet, which is fine. I just needed to be prepared for that. I can't imagine writing with a medium because this fine writes very much like any other medium that I have. So that medium has to be a gusher, like it has to write like a broad. So let me do a little comparison here. Like this is exactly the same width length as that TWSBI medium. And I have this inked up with Diamine. You can see a trend. I really like Diamine inks. Polar Glow, which has very quickly become one of my favorite of all time inks. I don't see a future where I don't have this pen and ink combination together because it's absolutely beautiful. And you know, the Visconti has, you know, that if you can get that in frame, the magnetic cap situation, which is just very satisfying, and the clip is very easy to use, and there's nothing I don't love about this pen. This was the hardest thing for me to decide to buy, but the easiest pen for me to love. That's how I can put it. We're not in frame anymore. There we go. I just genuinely love this pen. Alright, so here's that close-up comparison, and like I said, please ignore the fact that I made Metropolitan 2 different words. So as you can see, that Visconti Van Gogh, that fine nib is very, very broad. It's much broader than any fine has any right to be, but it's such a smooth nib. It's such a beautifully crafted pen. It writes pretty much exactly the same, like same width-wise as my TWSBI medium. Which actually is a lot. It is still broader than that 580 fine, but there's really not a huge difference. It's definitely, that fine is definitely closer to that number 4 size medium than the medium that I have on my other 580. Alright, so those are my currently inked pens. Just to recap, we've got the Diamond 580 ALR with Staler Ink Studio 130, the Visconti Van Gogh with Diamine Polar Glow, the TWSBI Eco with Van Diemen's Black Tongue Spider Orchid, the Pilot Metropolitan with Diamine Marine, and the Lamy Studio with Diamine Festive Cheer. So I will, like I said, I will do a longer video where I go through my entire fountain pen collection. I've only been collecting for just around 2 years now, so my collection is not as extensive as other people's. I haven't gotten so deep into vintage pens, although I do have a couple that I guess would be considered vintage. For now, just wanted to give you a little quick what I've been writing with these past couple of weeks. I will say this one's been inked up for months. I've had this ink since June. I've had it in this pen since June. It has not moved. That is a be all end all. That combination is forever. And the Eco and the 580, I try to use them until they're out of ink. I try. These two, we'll see what happens with these two. Maybe I'll switch things up in a couple weeks or a couple days. But thank you for watching. If you like the video, like and subscribe. I post a couple times a month. I'm trying to do once a week. We'll see how that goes. And until then, see you later, pen friends. Have a great day.